everybody, and welcome back to Call Me When They Kiss. I'm Issa.
And I'm Sydney.
And we are super excited because today is our very first bonus book episode. We will be doing a bonus book episode the last Monday of every month, and today we are discussing People We Meet on Vacation. And we would love to announce our next book for you guys, but we haven't actually decided on it yet, so stay tuned for that announcement. It'll be coming on Instagram sometime soon.
Yes, we had a couple ideas, but we thought, why not get your input before we make a decision? So keep an eye out, vote, and help us out.
So yeah, I can't wait. I'm so happy we started with an Emily Henry book, and I can't believe in less than 2 weeks we get our first Emily Henry on-screen adaptation.
That is so true. I think I've been so busy that we've talked so much about the book and the movie and doing this podcast, but still somehow I forget that it's so close because I've been so distracted.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, I cannot wait. Okay, so before we get into the book, Sydney, do you have any updates for us? How's your master's degree going?
About 1.5 more tasks.
Oh my gosh.
I'm planning a public health program to improve sexual wellness in teenagers. So it's been a lot of fun. And now all I can think of, like, in every book and movie that I watch is, like, are they practicing safe sex? So that's fun.
When we get into the book discussion,
what?
Well, you should tell them what you texted me about. Yeah,
I will.
Yeah, we can save that though.
I'm ready just to read my books again.
Yeah,
I haven't had any time to read, and even like watching the movies for this podcast has been hard to like find time to fit that in. So I'm ready to be done and give all of my energy and focus into this podcast and my family and my children.
Well, I'm proud of you. And
Thank you.
Yeah, like Sydney, you really have. I mean, we have put so much time into this podcast, and I can't believe you're doing a master's degree on top of it.
Yeah, it's all good. It's worth it. And this gives me a nice little break in my day to stop doing homework and have a chat with Issa.
Yeah. I was actually thinking about that because we've put in so much time and energy into like planning the podcast and the equipment and the photo shoot and social media. But the funnest part really is, like, actually sitting down and talking to you and recording an episode. And it's funny because out of all the hours that we've put into the podcast, this is only, our 5th episode? So we've only done, like, 5 hours worth of recording, which is the actual fun part.
Yeah, that's true. And then probably, like, 50 plus. Honestly, probably more than 50.
Yeah, definitely
in the
more.
past 2 months of all the prep, so... Yeah,
I mean, all the other stuff is fun too, but whenever we get done recording, I'm like, oh my gosh, I just love talking to Sydney.
Yes, and just talking about all of our fangirl things. Like, I'm so excited about this episode specifically because I know that it's something that we're both like such big fangirls about, and that we have some strong opinions, and that we just get to sit here and love on our favorite things: books, romance, and Emily Henry. So this is what it's all about, you know?
This is our bread and butter.
Yes.
And it's crazy because we've already read this book and we've already talked about it at great length, but I still feel like I have plenty to say.
I know. I will confess I did not finish the book, but it's my 3rd time reading it, so it's just crazy that every time I read it, I feel like I pick up on new things, though. And I have new things to discuss and new thoughts come to mind. And it never gets old, really.
I mean, not to get ahead of ourselves, but I also think we've read so many other books in between. And so I feel like the more bad books I read, then I go back and reread an Emily Henry book. And I think that's why I pick up on different things every time I read it, because it's like, because I'm comparing it to all the other books I've read in between. And I'm like, I really like how she did this better than how this other author did that, if that makes sense.
No, that's so true. Like, every time I read her books again, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is why this is why I love it.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
this is what's
exactly.
not in the other books. Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
understand that.
Okay, well, before we get into the book, there were speaking of Emily Henry adaptations, there have been some casting rumors going around for the Book Lovers adaptation, which, do we know? Because, like, People
Who's
We Meet on
producing it?
Vacation, yeah, that one's going to be on Netflix, but I don't even know, like, what's going on with Book Lovers. Do we know?
Let's see. Tango Entertainment. What in the world is that? It says the studio behind Aftersun, but I've never heard of Aftersun.
Yeah, me neither. Unless it's Love Island Aftersun.
That's the only thing.
But I don't think that's what it is.
Yeah, I was like, probably not. But there is a writer on board. The writer is a writer and producer for the show's Girls. Did you ever watch Girls?
But I know what it is.
I've heard a lot about it. So that's promising. But there's no release date. There's no official cast. But there have been the rumors.
The rumors are Simone Ashley, who we know and love from Bridgerton, Kate from Bridgerton, and Manny Jacinto, which I think the only thing I've seen him in is A Freakier Friday. He's
Lindsay
in The Good
Lohan's.
Place. Oh, okay.
Did you watch?
I've seen like 2 episodes of that.
But before that, I mean, I've only seen a couple episodes too. So really, I still know him more from Freakier Friday than anything else. He had a pretty big role on that show, though.
Yeah, but those. Well, and do we even know? Because honestly, to be honest, confession, I only read the headline. So I don't even know how serious these rumors are.
It's like literally just buzz.
Okay.
Like I don't know where it came from, I guess. Like the rumor, where did it originate from, and like why did it come up in the news last week that they were rumored? I don't know. I mean, it is kind of convenient timing with this movie coming out. Like, are they trying to just get more buzz and conversation? Is there any truth to it? I really don't know. But it says that the rights were actually acquired in 2023. So I really hope that we get some news soon.
Yeah, I hope it starts to move along. I found that Aftersun show, it's on Netflix. So I don't know if that really means anything, but I wonder if Book Lovers will also be on Netflix.
I wonder if the production company is going to make it first and then, like, pitch it to a platform. Yeah. Oh, so how would you... nerve-wracking, though.
I know. Well, I was nervous about Netflix doing People We Meet on Vacation, but the trailer has given me hope.
Yeah.
And the casting.
And they're doing Happy Place, too, as a TV series.
Oh, I thought Happy Place was going to be on Prime for some reason.
Oh, really? Now I need to see. Well, how did you feel about this casting? I'll look this up while we discuss.
I feel good about it. I can see Simone Ashley as Nora. I'm not as familiar with Manny Jacinto, but
yeah,
I mean, I think he could probably be Charlie.
He looks like I don't know what the right word is. Like Charlie, especially at the beginning of the book before we like get to know him a little bit more, you know, like he is the serious scholarly academic looking publishing guy, you know, and I can kind of get that vibe from him, like just looking at him. Like I could see him in a suit and I could see him looking serious, and how you might be kind of intimidated by him at first. I can see him liking a serious woman.
Yeah, for sure.
And I guess that's, I don't know, I have like a little bit mixed feelings about Simone Ashley because I really like Kate. Obviously I love Bridgerton, but I just like have a harder time picturing her as like the serious shark out for blood.
Oh, that's interesting because in my mind, Kate is really serious.
You see that?
She's like the tough big sister, and Nora is a big sister in Book Lovers.
That's true. That's true.
They should just have her sister, I don't know the actress's name, but whoever played her sister in Bridgerton should just play her sister again in Book Lovers.
But did you see the rumors? Well, okay, I don't think this was as much rumors and more so just like fans wanting to force this into existence. But after the new Superman movie came out, everybody was wanting to cast David. I'm on a first name basis with him because I can't remember his last name.
Sweat.
Corn Sweat. everyone wanted him to play Charlie, and there was something like Emily Henry followed him, or there was some sort of tweet she responded to and said like, get him on board or something like that, which makes me think that maybe this casting with Simone, Ashley, and Manny is really just a rumor, because I don't know. That wasn't that long ago, that conversation. And when she was like, oh, you know, haha, get him on board, like, it just made me feel like they weren't really close to actually casting anyone.
That's actually a really good point. I think you have figured it out. Now that you're saying cast. That, yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, nothing is even close to being official. Okay, which I did kind of think Happy Place was the next closest to being like in production.
Yeah, because with Happy Place, like, we know the producer, we know the platform. I looked it up and it did say it was Netflix.
Oh, really? Okay.
So like it feels like it's really like, yeah, like the ball is rolling for Happy Place. Book Lovers is just like, we know it's being made into a movie and that's about it. So speaking of Happy Place,
why are they planting rumors for Book Lovers?
Well, I don't know. That's my question, is like, who started this?
Yeah.
Maybe we need to go back and look at the article and like, is it literally like no source at all? Just people are saying this?
Yeah, we probably should have actually read it.
We're not very good investigative journalists.
Yeah. Call Me When They Kiss is just spreading false information.
We just like to gossip and spread rumors. Yeah. No, but we had talked about giving some fan casts for Happy Place, and I really want to know what yours are.
Okay, I'm excited. Okay, wait, do you want me to go first? Let's do Win, and then we'll do both our Wins and then both our Harriets.
Okay.
So Happy Place, yeah, the two main characters are Win and Harriet. So for Win, I fan casted Brandon Sklenar. He played Atlas in It Ends With Us. No. You don't like him?
He's fine.
Don't you think he gives Win vibes though?
Yeah, but like, yes, I will begrudgingly admit, I just don't want like any tie to any of the drama.
No, that's
could possibly
true.
Tarnish Happy Place.
But he's also in The Housemaid. Yeah, which I'm gonna go see The Housemaid tonight, by the way.
Although that might, if he's playing, I mean, I know nothing about The Housemaid, but I'm assuming the husband's a little iffy.
I don't want to say anything. I don't want to give spoilers.
Okay. Well, it might shift my mindset of seeing him in that way, but okay, yeah. That's a good one though. Like, I can see it.
Okay, who's yours?
One that I thought maybe could be is, his name is Harris Dickinson. Do you know him?
Okay, I have to look up a picture. What has he been in?
He's in Baby Girl, that weird one with what's her face?
Yeah, I didn't watch that, but I know what you're talking about. Nicole Kidman?
Yeah. To be honest, like, I think if we're talking about realistic, Brandon, the one you mentioned, I feel like he's within the realm that, like, he could be cast something Netflix is producing. I don't know. I never really pictured Win as this, like, I mean, we talk about this in literally every episode, but there's, like, this balance of, like, physical, like, first glance attractiveness and, like, then, like, the vibe or energy that they bring to the role and like how that might change. Because he was in Baby Girl and he played like a really serious like seduction guy, I don't know, I felt like maybe he could like channel that, but like I said, I don't like any of these blonde guys, so it's bad. It's hard for me to choose somebody.
Sydney is anti-blonde.
I am.
I guess that's true. Maybe my pick was a little bit too hot for Win. Just like the beard. I don't know. I just
arms up, baby. Who do you picture?
See, yeah, I can see him saying that.
Okay. No, that's fair. That was a good option, Isa.
Thank you.
Okay.
I like your option too.
You think he's ugly, lame-o, though? No.
I just felt like I had to say that. Okay, who's your choice for Harriet?
Okay. This might be an out there one. Her name is Isabella Merced.
I got it.
You probably don't know her by her name, but she is in a movie called Instant Family with Mark Wahlberg. I really love that movie. But she's also in like the Dora movie. She plays Dora.
Oh yeah, she's pretty.
She's really funny. Like I've seen her in. Well, Dora's a comedy, and she just seems really well-rounded in the roles. She was actually in Superman. She's like that hawk girl.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, she hasn't really gotten, like, a big breakthrough role yet, so I feel like she could be cast on Netflix. I just thought maybe she'd be a cute pick.
That's a good one. I can see it for sure. I think
who
I
do you
like your
pick?
choice better than mine. So we'll go with your Harriet pick and my Win pick.
Okay.
But I said Chloe Bennett was.
Let me see.
She was the girl from the Jonas Brothers Christmas movie.
Okay, but you know what?
I actually liked
that.
her. Yeah.
Yeah, I did like her too. And she seems, well, I was like, why does she seem like she could be a doctor?
Oh, yeah, she was a doctor
she literally
in that
was.
movie, yeah.
No, yeah,
I don't really have much to say about it, but because that's the only thing I've seen her in, but I just feel like she could be Harriet.
Okay, Isa, you need to be more confident in your choices because I could see that. Okay, we'll make a little video and we can show them side by side the choices, kind of swap them up and see who people.
Oh yeah, we should. That'd
think.
be fun.
Yeah. Okay, good choices.
Okay, in other romance related news, our second favorite romance author, only behind Emily Henry, is Abby Jimenez. And she posted a major tease for her new book that's coming out in March. She was hinting at who the audiobook narrators were going to be. You should read the caption.
So she said that the narrator who will be doing the female main character starred in her, and I quote, favorite rom-com movie of all time. That's like a big...
Especially from a romance author.
Yeah. Like, what is her favorite romance movie of all time?
Yeah.
And then she said, I actually pictured her the whole time, which makes me think like she was picturing her even before she was cast to be the narrator.
Yeah.
She said she would literally...
I forgot she said that because in my guesses, that might have changed my answers. But I'll just stick with my answers.
Well, you can ponder it for a couple more minutes if you need, but...
Okay.
Yeah, she said she would literally be my dream movie casting for this book. She's so talented and cool, and I'm still pinching myself that she's going to be forced to read my book. That's just like a really heavy claim, you know, that she is so incredible. Mm-hmm. She's in her favorite rom-com. She pictured her the whole time. She would be the dream movie casting. Like, that's crazy. Okay, so then for the male main character, she said that the narrator is a celebrated TV and film actor and that he has a fantastic voice. He has narrated audiobooks before, but no romance. And she said, incidentally, he is also absolutely perfect for the TV/film casting of Chris. So she can picture both of these narrators playing the characters like in a film adaptation too. So
it's crazy that she's like hinting at that. Like,
I know. Doesn't even have it's not even released.
Yeah. And I don't think any of her books have like movie or TV show deals.
No, I don't think so either. She's just manifesting this.
Which, good for her.
I'm here for it. Yeah.
Okay, well, now that you've read that all out loud again, my guesses might not make any sense. But that's what we were so confused about because Abby Jimenez is in her like late 40s maybe or something, somewhere around there. So we were thinking anyone who played the main characters in her favorite rom-com of all time would be kind of older.
Yeah.
But we couldn't figure out if the characters in this new book, which, by the way, the new book is called The Night We Met.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, is it going to be older characters in this book?
Yeah, and I tried to look it up.
Older actors. Like, I'm guessing her favorite rom-com of all time is not To All the Boys I've Loved Before. You know what I mean?
The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Yeah. So I just, like, have no idea what age range we're looking for with these audiobook narrators. Okay, well, now I feel like my guesses... Because I forgot she said all that about the movie adaptations, but I still made some guesses, yeah.
This is so hard. We're just going to throw something at the wall, and we'll follow up when it's announced and see how off we were.
Okay, so for the female main character, the FMC, I said Reese Witherspoon.
Okay.
Because my reasoning behind that is... Well, she was in Sweet Home Alabama. Maybe that's her favorite rom-com. She has a book club. We know she likes to read.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like she fits Abby Jimenez's vibe. Okay, who did you say?
Okay, this is literally just based off the cover of the book. The girl had blonde hair, so I don't know, like, if she could picture this. Okay, I have two girl picks. I'll choose one old and one young. For an older option, I chose Kate Hudson.
Oh, she crossed my mind.
She's 46 too, though. That's like older than I thought. Like even with Reese Witherspoon, like that is a little bit older. But she's in a couple big rom-coms or romances, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days,
Bride Wars.
Something Borrowed. Yeah, Bride Wars. She's in a lot. But really, like, it feels like I'm just choosing blindly.
Taking a shot in the dark.
Yeah. But if I was to choose one that's like a little bit more strategic and that could be like fitting this age range of 20s, early 30s, I don't know why this would be her favorite romance movie of all time, but perhaps maybe it Set It Up, which was a Netflix. It really wouldn't be.
I don't know what
why.
that is.
I really don't know why. You don't know what it is?
Mm.
It has Glenn Powell in it, actually. So the female main character, her name's Zoe Dutch. Douch. I don't even know how to say her last name. But that's like one of the romances that's came out in the past 10 years that people have said like this could make it into the like romance classics in another 10 years or whatever, you know. I don't know why that would be her favorite romance movie, but she might fit the age range and you know, I could see her narrating a book, I guess.
I think that's a pretty good guess.
I have no idea, honestly, though.
Should we get into our Emily Henry discussion?
Let's do it.
All right. So Sydney and we actually read our first Emily Henry book at the same time. Was it just last February? Like February 2024?
Yes.
I think it was.
Because February 2023 was before my children were born. But that's crazy that it was just...
Yeah.
Oh, well, so I guess it's almost 2026. Okay, yeah.
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 Yeah, so for our book club, we read Book Lovers for our like Galentine's Day book club meeting. And did you immediately read the rest of her books after that?
Yeah.
Because I think I pretty much did too.
Just read them like back to back. And Issa made this pick. I don't know where you like got it from.
I just knew that her books were really popular. Yeah.
I'll forever be indebted to Issa for suggesting it and bringing it to our book club because, yeah, I immediately read like all of them back to back. I think Funny Story wasn't out yet, though.
Yeah, Funny Story wasn't out yet, but I think it came out. Yeah, it came out just a couple months later.
Pretty shortly after. Yeah.
And this is not an exaggeration. No romance book has ever hit the same ever since.
And I truly can't comprehend that people don't like her books.
Yeah.
Like, I know there are people out there that have read them and just said, oh, they're not for me, or find them really boring, or whatever the reason may be. And I genuinely can't wrap my head around it because they have changed me.
It's really hard because I've tried to explain it so many times, but it honestly is hard to articulate why they're so much better, I think, than any other romance book because... Well, it's just hard for me to come up with anything other than they're just not cringy. And I feel like so many romance books I read, and I guess I mean contemporary romance books, the tropey ones that have been coming out in the last couple years, why do they just feel so much cringier than Emily Henry's books?
Yeah, because like this has all the same tropes. Like People We Meet on Vacation is a friends to lovers. It has a one bed. You know, like it has some of those common tropes, but I think it's funny because as I just mentioned, like people have complained that they think, especially People We Meet on Vacation, people have criticized it, calling it boring.
Really?
But I think, but I think part of why I love it is that it's like it's real life. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a big, flashy plot or crazy, ridiculous, goofy plot twist or cringy moments or whatever. Like, I think contemporary romance as a whole, like, sometimes gets written off by describing it as like cheesy Hallmark movies. But like, I don't And there are a lot of books that in the genre that maybe fall into that category that are kind of formulaic and, like you said, just kind of cheesy or cringy or whatever. But I don't think that these books do, and something about the mundane of it is really appealing to me. Like,
Yeah.
it feels
Well-
like something we could live or we have lived or
Yeah.
experienced, you know, like.
Well, the characters do feel way more realistic than a lot of other contemporary romance books I've read. Like, there'll be these other books I've read, and I'm not going to name any names or name any authors, but they're about like women about our age, maybe a little older, maybe sometimes a little younger, but they do not feel like real adults.
Mm-hmm.
They're like so quirky, goofy, a little bit too extreme.
They make like all the wrong choices.
Yeah, just
that
kind of
lead
silly.
them to some sort of conflict or
yeah. But Emily Henry's characters feel real, and we talked about this in another episode recently, I think, but the romance is really good, but also the characters are usually going through something else, or there's other relationships at play, like familial relationships or friendships, and those problems feel relatable as well. And as much as I love Abby Jimenez, some of her characters are going through like some really crazy stuff, like really traumatic, intense things.
Mm-hmm.
And not that it's like super unrealistic, but Emily Henry's character's problems are a little bit more relatable to me than Abby Jimenez's characters.
Yeah.
Just their problems are just more like stuff everybody goes through.
Yeah, they're like everyday struggles of insecurities or doubt or, you know, have I chosen the right career? Am I
or getting along with your parents or your friends, your adult friendships.
Not like, I think I described some of Abby Jimenez's books as Emily Henry meets Grey's Anatomy because some of the drama points are so crazy, like, oh, somebody had an affair and there's a secret love child who's related to this character, you know, like it's very different, like you're saying. And this is like exactly what you said. Everybody goes through this, really. I think somebody can relate to at least one of Emily Henry's characters.
Right.
You might not perfectly relate to the circumstances or feelings or experiences of every single one, but I think that oftentimes shifts which book you like the most. Because there will be one that you connect with stronger than others. Yeah.
Well, okay, so which Emily Henry FMC do you feel like you relate to the most? I actually think I know your answer already.
What's your guess?
Poppy.
Yes, and we'll probably talk about this a little bit more in depth when we do the book. But Poppy is like who I was 5 years ago.
Okay.
Like, I do strongly relate to Poppy. And it's part of why I did really love People We Meet on Vacation. But it's like my former self. Maybe. And some people like have criticized Poppy and I almost called him Charlie, Alex. And have said that they don't think they'd really last or anything like that. And I think they could, and we'll talk about this too, but like she's still young and I feel like she's still in this sort of, not immature, that's like too harsh, but like she's still in the process of finding herself really. And I relate to that aspect and I have hope that maybe 5 years down the line after this book ends, that she'll feel more secure in who she is and her relationships and those things, you know?
Yeah. She's because I thought she was younger too, as far as Emily Henry's characters go. I mean, the book spans 12 years. So in the earliest timeline of the book, she's 18, but she's like 30 in the present time of the book.
That's true. But to be fair, when I say that I've matured and changed a lot in the past 5 years, that is when I got married. And like started having kids and things like that.
That's true.
Like if you give her, say she's starting that point in her life at 30 instead of 25. Like maybe things will change.
Yeah, that's true.
It probably is Poppy though. I relate to certain aspects of Harriet, but not so much like her as a whole, just like certain parts of it.
Yeah. No, well, the character I would say I relate to the most is probably Nora, but
I can see that.
I feel the same way about Harriet. Like, there's parts of her story that I feel like I relate to as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nora's very like type A. She's a career woman. She's a big sister. I always like big sister characters.
Yeah.
So
No, I can see that. You do give me Nora vibes. That's why maybe I have a hard time picturing Simone Ashley, because I just picture Issa.
I know. Well, like, just because I love Nora so much, it would be really fun. And I think she even has like a blonde bob on the cover of the book. So it would be fun for me if they cast a white blonde woman, but I understand that the white blonde woman has been cast in pretty much every rom-com ever. So I would be happy if Simone Ashley played Nora.
You're like, it's okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll let somebody else see themselves in her.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's true though. It's always fun. And I think that that's why it does create like a bias in you, because I think that's why I like Rey so much in Star Wars. Because I'm like, oh, she's
you see
like,
yourself in her?
Yeah, like, I don't look like her, but like, oh, she's got brown hair. And I have brown hair. And yeah, so basically she's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Well, it's funny because like when we sorry to go on a tangent here, but like when you think about it that way, like I get it. Like I get why diverse casting is important, because we feel so connected to characters when they like slightly look like us.
Yeah.
So like it is a big deal.
Yeah, literally, like we have nothing in common other than the fact that we both have brown hair, and like and that like formed that sort of connection.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can imagine yeah, like it is important to be able to see yourself on screen, I think. So I don't really care who they cast as long as they can deliver.
And
because I do feel
they should be hot.
Yeah, we like the cute ones too. But
for a romance.
Yeah. But I do think yeah, I'm much more emotionally attached to the stories as a whole than like the appearance of the characters. Because like when we just did our fan casting for Happy Place, I don't know what they look like. Like I'm not the type of reader that reads them and like is picturing their face and their hair and all of these things. Like it's news to me if Wynn has blonde hair, you know? Like some people were upset that the cast for Happy Place, I mean for People We Meet on Vacation, like Alex is supposed to be blonde, I think, and Poppy has like short hair in the current day or whatever. And I'm like, I could care less. I love Alex Blythe. And actually, I was going to mention that.
Tom Blythe? You just called him Alex
Oh my gosh.
Blythe?
Yes, so many names. Tom Blythe. If he had not been cast in People We Meet on Vacation, I was going to say that like I could see him even playing a Wynn type character in Happy Place. But
they could have probably cast him in any Emily Henry adaptation, and I would have been excited.
Maybe not Funny Story. I would have a harder time picturing him as Miles, but I would still be excited because I love him. I could see him as Hayden in Great Big Beautiful Life.
Yeah, so could I.
So that was like, I can't get over, and I guess this is more for like the movie episode, but I really can't get over like how much I love that casting and that I think they did a good job. Hopefully the movie delivers.
People We Meet on Vacation?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel really good about it.
I just think both of them really can like embody those characters, and I'm excited. So, yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, should we begin our discussion of People We Meet on Vacation, the book?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Sydney and I have decided to try a new thing for both our movie episodes and this book episode. We wrote out a pretty detailed synopsis of the book. That way, if you didn't read the book or you didn't watch the movie, you can be filled in on all the details. But we were sick of like trying to wing it on the fly and remember every plot point. So I'm gonna read this play-by-play of the book. And I read it before we started recording. It took me about 6 minutes to read it, which I know sounds long, but I think it will just help the rest of our discussion. And if you did read the book and you don't need the plot synopsis, just skip ahead about 6 minutes.
Poppy Wright and Alec Nielsen seem to be opposites in every way. Poppy is free-spirited, outgoing, and spontaneous. For years, she has wanted nothing more than to escape their small town of Linfield, Ohio, mostly to escape the high school version of herself that she hopes nobody remembers. Even amongst her well-meaning parents, fun-loving brothers, and the family Huskies, she doesn't feel like she quite has a place. Alex, on the other hand, is reserved, responsible, and high-strung, with the hint of religious trauma, after growing up the oldest of 4 brothers, who he basically had to raise after their mother passed away, and their father never seemed to quite pull himself back together.
Poppy and Alex meet at freshman orientation their first year of college, where they connect the dots that they went to different high schools in the same town. After speaking briefly, they part ways, assuming they'll never see each other ever again because Poppy plans on having fun in college while Alex plans on studying. However, at the end of the school year, Poppy finds herself hitching a ride with Alex back to Linfield. After a few hours in the car together, they strike up an unlikely friendship and agree to hang out over the summer. Soon that friendship evolves into a best friendship, although Poppy admits to herself that 5% of her wonders if things could ever go even farther than that.
Poppy dreams of traveling the world, and much of Poppy and Alex's friendship centers around their annual summer trip. The summer trip becomes even more central to their relationship when Poppy drops out of college to pursue her travel influencing career in New York City, and Alex continues his education in literature in Ohio. Some years, the summer trip is the only time Poppy and Alex get to see each other.
The book alternates between past summer trips starting 12 years back and the present time. In the past summer trips, Poppy and Alex's relationship evolves but remains platonic. They even bring their respective partners on one of the summer trips. Poppy's boyfriend Trey and Alex's on-again, off-again girlfriend Sarah Torval. Not only does this particular summer trip highlight some glaring differences between Poppy and Alex's connection compared to their connections with their significant others, but it also illustrates a defining moment in both their lives. On the trip, Poppy thinks she might be pregnant and secretly takes a pregnancy test before anyone else wakes up. Alex discovers her and comforts her. The test is negative, but Alex is shaken because his mother died from complications during the birth of his youngest brother, and he gets a vasectomy without even consulting Sarah. Shortly thereafter, he also purchases an engagement ring, again without consulting Sarah. When he realizes he picked out a ring that Poppy would like and not Sarah, he ends his relationship with Sarah. This, coincidentally, happens shortly after Poppy's relationship with Trey fizzles out. The next year, the summer trip is back to just Poppy and Alex. After 10 years of ignoring their feelings for the sake of preserving their friendship, Poppy and Alex drunkenly start to hook up, but come to their senses before having sex. Alex perceives this experience as Poppy being impulsive and careless, while Poppy perceives it as a rejection from Alex. When they part ways at the end of the trip, their friendship does not recover, and thus 2 years go by with basically zero communication between the two of them. In the present day, a 30-year-old Poppy is feeling despondent and unsure of what she truly wants. At first glance, it seems like all of her dreams have come true. She's escaped Linfield, seen the world, and works as a writer for a luxury travel magazine. But travel doesn't quite appeal to her the way it used to, and she questions whether she's even happy at all. Poppy realizes the last time she was truly happy was on that last summer trip with Alex. She gives in, reaches out, and boldly asks him to go on a summer trip with her. He agrees under the assumption that Poppy's job is funding the trip, and they decide to go to Palm Springs, where Alex's brother will be getting married at the end of their stay. Unbeknownst to Alex, Poppy's job is not funding the trip, but Poppy hides this from him, knowing that he would not allow her to pay for it herself. She tells him her boss has approved her to write an article on budget-friendly travel. Not only does this serve as an explanation for why they are not doing Palm Springs the travel influencer way, but it is also part of Poppy's plot to fix their friendship, since she thinks they had more fun back when they did everything as cheaply as possible and rolled with the punches. What it really does, though, is lead to a series of unfortunate events. A broken-down rental car, no air conditioning in their condo, an overpacked swimming pool, heat stroke at the zoo, and of course, only one bed. As if that isn't bad enough, there's also just general awkwardness in the air since the last time Poppy and Alex were together, they made out, and since then, they haven't spoken. Poppy worries that their friendship never meant as much to Alex as it did to her, while Alex remains guarded. After a couple days of alternating between sexual tension and just tension because of how horrible the trip is going, Poppy and Alex get into an argument that culminates in them finally acknowledging that their friendship is never going to go back to what it was, and they don't want it to anyway. And then they kiss and have epic sex in the rain. The last few days of the trip go mostly well. They give in and check into a hotel with air conditioning and attend the wedding festivities of Alex's brother. For the time being, they ignore the fact that they have two very different lives and want different things. Alex would be content settling down in Linfield, but Poppy is still unsure if she'd ever want to settle anywhere. As they're saying their goodbyes at the airport, Poppy tries to explain to Alex how dissatisfied she has been with her life in New York the past 2 years. However, it comes out wrong and makes Alex feel like she used him to take a vacation from her real life. He tells her that he knows what he wants, and she needs to figure out what she wants. Poppy returns to New York and works on doing just that. She scales back on traveling and focuses on establishing a real life where she lives. She keeps a houseplant alive, tries new hobbies, and goes to therapy. This leads her to a breakthrough moment where she realizes she doesn't have to keep trying to outrun her past self, and that the reason she loves traveling is because she loves connecting with people, which is something she can do anywhere, and her most important connection is her one with Alex. Since Alex has been ignoring her calls and texts, she flies to Linfield to prove to him that she would go anywhere for him, even her old high school, where Alex now teaches, despite vowing to never return there because of the hurtful memories she associates with her teenage years. Alex is not at the school, but his girlfriend Sarah Torval is. Poppy apologizes to Sarah for not admitting her true feelings for Alex sooner, which could have saved Sarah a lot of time and pain. Sarah acknowledges that Poppy is not the only one at fault and tells her where she can find Alex. Poppy finds Alex and explains the soul-searching journey she's been on, complete with a last-ditch effort to convince him they're meant to be together. Alex, while moved by her speech, protests that they just don't make sense because they're too different. Poppy walks away sobbing, but in the span of 30 seconds, a light bulb dings on over Alex's head and he chases after her. They agree that while it's scary to be in love with each other, they are each other's home, no matter whether they end up in Ohio or New York City or anywhere else in the world. And I would like everybody to know I wrote that whole thing without using ChatGPT.
Yes. When I started reading it, actually, I was like, dang, you wrote this? You should be a writer.
Wow, thank you.
It was good. I thought, like, no, she had to have found this online somewhere, right? But then when you said it was 6 minutes, I thought, wait, no, there's no way that this already existed.
I just wanted it to be detailed so that then during our discussion, we don't have to be like, oh, well, by the way, this happened if you didn't read the book.
Yeah.
You know?
So where should we start? Did you love People We Meet on Vacation the first time you read it? If so, why? What did you love about it? If you didn't love it, why?
Okay, so this was my third time reading People We Meet on Vacation, and the first time I read it, I actually think I ranked it not super high relative to the other Emily Henry books, just because Poppy kind of irked me. I felt like
we just talked
What?
about, like, oh, yeah, like, I'm so much like Poppy. And he's just like, I hated Poppy.
No, like, now I understand her better and appreciate her more.
Okay.
And it's funny because I remember the first time you ever told me that you felt like you related to Poppy, and now I know your reasonings for why you relate to Poppy, but like at first glance, I don't think your personality is super similar to Poppy.
Yeah.
It's more like the internal things she goes through you relate to. Yeah.
Thoughts were like, wow, I've had those thoughts before. Not like,
Right.
Yeah, I'm actually not really like Poppy in most ways.
Because Poppy has like a very outgoing, spontaneous, flirty, adventurous personality, and I'm just not like that. I'm an accountant. And not that I hate people like that, but she just wasn't my favorite Emily Henry main character. And my biggest annoyance was she's like the girl best friend. Like throughout the book, she dates other people, Alex dates other people, but him and Poppy have this really close relationship. Like, nobody wants to be dating a guy that has a girl best friend, you know?
Yeah, like reading this book and thinking of how Sarah must have felt.
Right.
Like, you would hate Poppy. Like, if I was Sarah, I would hate Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
So it is kind of harder. And I think that's why, like, the first time I did rank it a little bit higher, because I saw those internalized thoughts and was like, oh my gosh, I relate, I feel this, blah, blah, blah. And then on the second and half reread that I got through, that initial kind of, I'd say, like, infatuation with the idea of like, oh my gosh, I relate so much has passed. And rereading it without that, I'm like, oh, like, you're not really the good guys in like several people's story.
Right. Yeah.
So it kind of, the more I reread it, the more it kind of moves down on my list, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny because, so it has moved down on your list?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it's moved up on my list, and I don't know if it's just because the movie's coming out, so now I can picture Tom Blythe and Emily Bader, but I do think it's one of her funnest books because they're traveling to so many different places, and like Poppy is like, she doesn't have a real job. They just have all this flexibility to do whatever they want, basically. I just feel like they're having fun for most of the book.
Yeah, no, that's
so it's
true.
moved up for me, and I don't know, I've gotten used, now I know what to expect, like, oh, she's the girl best friend, so it doesn't bug me quite as much. I want to discuss, do you think that a guy and girl can really just be best friends?
Yeah.
You do think so?
No.
Oh, I thought you were saying yes to the question.
No. Well, okay. So I think like a guy and a girl, sure, could be just best friends, especially if they're both single. But I think that if they enter into another relationship, that they cannot be considered each other's best friends because, like, my husband's my best friend.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what about me?
Well, I'm talking about, like, of the opposite gender.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, sorry, I do love Alan more than Issa. But, but I just don't think, like, I don't know. Obviously, I have girl best friends that I call my best friends, and they are my best girlfriends, but like Alan is my person, and I think it's very clear in this book specifically that that's how they see each other, like as
Each
their
other's person. Yeah.
and like that shouldn't exist. I don't think, like, if you're in a relationship with somebody else, like that person should be your person. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I don't think. I think even if you're not in a relationship, if you have a guy best friend, if you're both straight, and you have a guy best friend, at least one of you probably has a crush on the other. I'm not saying like you can't have a guy best friend or a girl best friend. I'm just saying one of you probably has a crush.
Yeah. Of all of Emily Henry's plots, this one is probably the most unrealistic, that these people went 10
12
years.
years. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like 10 years till the messy kiss, 12 years
right,
till getting together. Like, I cannot even, and maybe I'm projecting, but I'm like, there's no way that if I had a guy best friend like that and I was single, I have a hard time being convinced of the reasons that they're not together. Where it's like, oh, well, but we can't be together.
Yeah.
Because they're my best friend, so if we try to do this, I might lose my best friend. Like, that, it's not believable to me, because if you were developing romantic feelings for somebody, like, whether or not you act on it, that friendship is going to change. Like, it's already changed because you have those feelings. So it's hard for me to be convinced that, like, they had good reasons to go 10 years without ever facing this.
Yeah, it might have even made it more realistic if they did hook up way earlier on, but then they like got over it and decided they were better off just friends.
Yeah.
But then maybe something else, so when they do finally hook up in Croatia for the first time and they start making out, then their friendship never recovers. And then again, at that point, it kind of seemed like, really, your friendship didn't recover? So I feel like it would have made more sense if they maybe hooked up way earlier on in their friendship, but then something else happened 10 years later in Croatia that was a bigger deal that kind of drove them apart. Is this making sense? Like, are you following?
Yes, I understand. Yes.
Do you think that would have made it more realistic?
Put it into words. Yes, I do. Like, I understand what you're saying. I don't know. Just the fact that, like, Poppy at the beginning of this book is still in full denial that she has feelings for him. And I just think it would have been more believable if she had, like, she's like, oh, it's just 5%. And, like, obviously, yeah, she's, like, that's her trying to convince herself that it's less than what it is. But again, after all of this time and all of their experiences together, there needed to be something that's like, oh, but like we tried and it didn't, like what exactly what you're saying. It just makes me want to shake this girl, say, open your eyes, because like, I can't believe like how much in denial she still is throughout, like, still a big chunk of this book.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, no,
I guess it's like
nothing.
you were saying, like, you related to Poppy more 5 years ago, and since then you've figured yourself out a bit more.
Yeah.
And I think it's like, and that's a big part of this book, is Poppy needs to figure out who she is and what she wants.
Yeah. And I guess if I do remind myself that they only had a week, like they separated quite early into the story. What was it, like maybe 4 years in? Were they after college? Or
not even 4 years in because she drops out
she
of
dropped
college.
out.
So for most of
Right.
their friendship, they're not living in the same place.
Yeah. So
And they're
like
only seeing each other once or twice a year. Sorry. I kept talking
no, it's
over you.
okay. It can make it like a little bit more believable if they only spend a week together, but like even if I only spent 1 week with this guy that was like my favorite person in the world, I still feel like that would have been enough.
Yeah.
We'd probably hook up every summer.
Yeah.
And then go back to being
even
friends.
that might be like, more realistic. But
yeah.
then, and that would make it even worse though. Like Sarah, his ex-girlfriend, would hate her even more.
yeah. I just can't imagine you've gone 10 years without even trying to kiss this guy.
Right, yeah.
Like, I would have kissed him probably 6 months into our friendship. Like, let's just try this out, you know?
Yeah, and the other thing too is like they meet as college freshmen. If they had been friends for 10 years and it's the years they're like 10 to 20 years old, even that maybe would be more believable because they're like kids.
Yeah.
But like they're like in college. I don't know.
You guys weren't going to experiment at 18 years old? Yeah, like
exactly.
She's an 18-year-old virgin who finds this best friend. They're not going to give each other a little smooch? Like, yeah. No, you're so right. Yeah,
but
if they had
I don't
started
even
younger.
care. I don't even really care that it's not that realistic because I love a slow burn.
Yeah, I'm like nitpicking it, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, when they finally get to the balcony, and it's raining, and boom, they kiss, like, full body shivers. Like, it's all worth it. Knowing, like, if they had all these relations beforehand, maybe it wouldn't have, like, felt that same way.
All these relations?
That's my motherly talk. But, you know, like, because it was all new for them, too, it made it just, like, that much more exciting for the reader.
Right.
That's like, oh my gosh, 12 years of build-up.
Well, technically that wasn't their first kiss ever.
Well, yeah, but like...
But I get your point, yeah.
First time having relations.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, I forgot. In Croatia, the first time they kissed, they didn't have sex.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to talk about... Oh, sorry, what?
No, I was just saying they were drunk, so it was like a whole different situation, yeah.
I do want to talk about the balcony scene, but
okay.
Is there anything we should go over before we get to that point?
Well, unless you have something. I guess I need to look at your notes too.
I'm just looking at your notes, like friends to lovers trope. Do you like this trope typically?
Well, even though we were just nitpicking it, I do like friends to lovers. Maybe not so much the 12 years that I'm like scratching my head like, is this realistic? But I do like friends to lovers. Technically, I think every romance should be friends to lovers.
Yeah.
Like, everyone should become best friends with the person that they're dating. And so, from the most realistic, like, healthy relationship standpoint, I can appreciate a friends to lovers.
You can't even, like, think of any other examples.
Of friends to lovers?
Yeah. I know, not to spoil Shadow and Bone, but also probably nobody really cares. But she ends up with her, like, childhood best friend, and I was disappointed in that.
Oh, really?
That's, like, the only example I can think of.
Well, yeah, that's why I said, like, it really depends.
That's a good point.
That's why, like, People We Meet on Vacation is kind of interesting, because it's not, like, childhood best friends, but, like, they are best friends, and it does kind of... Emily Henry's good at doing that in all of her books, like, taking a trope, but, like, adding some sort of spin or twist on it that makes it a little bit different. So, I don't know. Maybe we need to read more.
I like friends to lovers in theory.
But you need to see it.
Yeah. Okay. Balcony scene. Wait, no, sorry. I have one other thing before we get to the balcony scene.
Okay.
Alex, like, objectively, I feel like in real life he would kind of give me the ick. Like, honestly, I actually do relate to a few aspects of his personality. But on this third reread, I was picking up on all these things that I'm really curious if they're going to include in the movie and how Tom Blythe will portray them. Because they're not, like, conventionally sexy things. Here are some
Yeah.
examples I wrote down. He is afraid of flying. And not to like shame him for his fears, but like he like has this like freak out on the airplane, and like I just feel like maybe that would give me the ick.
Yeah.
And then he like has a back spasm like an old man. And then he like gets a heat stroke at the zoo. Like
Yeah. No, I
he
did.
like cannot pull himself together.
It really starts to pile up. Maybe I'm just undermining his struggles, but
like somehow he's ick proof. Like in theory, I think those things might give me the ick in real life, but I love Alex.
yeah. Well, and I guess like Poppy kind of has her own icks, and so maybe she doesn't.
Yeah, she said she only showers 3 times a week. Did you catch
Yeah.
that?
No, I didn't until I was actually like looking at Goodreads reviews, and somebody all they posted was like, I have serious concerns about Poppy's hygiene habits or something like that. And I read the comments and I was like, oh, I did not pick this up.
Okay, can we talk about the balcony scene?
Let's do it.
Okay. Do you want to start?
Some people think that it took like too long to get to the point, or like I said, like some of the reviews were talking about how it was boring, but I loved the slow burn, and I love that moment where they're finally together, and like it's just like finally, like and a lot, most contemporary romances don't, especially nowadays, like the big popular ones are not going to give you that sort of like build up and yearning and payoff. And so I do really love that in this book.
Well, I'm confused that people are saying it took too long. It actually is making my blood kind of boil. This is the problem with the romance genre and why we're getting crappy romance books. Because people can't wait. This is a 361-page book, okay? The balcony scene begins on page 235. If you can't handle 235 pages of yearning and slow burn and buildup, that's your problem. Like,
you're like, don't make her change it.
Yeah, like that
No,
is
that's true.
I just don't get. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It blows my mind that people think that's too long.
I took a screenshot. I think the original comment was saying how, yeah, it was like, get to the point already, blah, 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 blah. And somebody responded and said, here's an idea. Maybe the romance genre isn't for you. What would even be the point of this whole thing if there wasn't that sort of like build up? And I mean, I think that's interesting. And I think it's almost getting to the point where the romance genre needs to be like separated into different subcategories. Because like that's totally fair. Like if you want to read books where it's really quick and steamy, like go ahead and read those books. But this just falls into like a completely different category, really. And I personally have been like chasing after books with this. And so the fact that it's the reason why some people like despise it, I'm like, oh, this is why I love it. Like I appreciated getting to see the flashbacks and see their relationship grow and like see what brought them to this moment. I was a little peeved when it's the balcony scene and then it's like flashback to what happened in Croatia. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, no, finish this scene. But it was only a chapter, it's not a lot to wait for. So,
well, your response was much more diplomatic than mine.
Well, yeah. But what do you love about the balcony scene then?
Okay. I have 2 things I want to discuss. First of all, I think Emily Henry she has like the perfect amount of sex in her books for me. Like it's just enough, it's not too much. She doesn't use super graphic language. And like Alex, so when they start making out when they get going, this is like our first time actually discussing an open door sex scene on the podcast.
That's true.
So I'm like all giggly. Sorry, I'm a grown ass woman. I can talk about this. Like he was just so hot. He was what was he saying? well, first he's like, is this okay? What about this? And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
he was like, he kind of had a Conrad moment, you know, when Conrad's like, I dream about this.
Yeah.
Alex was like, I think about you all the time. I think about this or something like that. That's like all I need. Like, I don't
Yes.
need a ton of dirty talk. I just like when they say the sweet romantic things like that.
Yeah.
And even though I've listened to the book 3 times, I was in my car like freaking out, rewinding it, giggling,
I always
and
get
smiling.
excited no matter what.
Yeah.
See, I'm kind of sad that I didn't make it through to the end on my reread because
Did you
this
not even
scene
get
is-
to the balcony scene?
Oh, no, I'm still 4 hours left. I made no
dang.
progress.
Oh, dang.
So this is not as fresh in my mind, but you made a really good point that it reminded me of something that's actually been brought up a lot about the romance genre, and basically how people have said that we need to get rid of the dual POV. And
Oh,
I
yes.
agree with that because of what you just said. Because when they finally get together and Alex says, I think about this all the time, like in that moment, we know that like he's been feeling this way for her forever. I mean, there's
Yeah.
hints of that, like without explicitly saying it. And Poppy's just like, oh la la, like she's just blind to it all. But like in that moment, we see like what he's been thinking and feeling that whole time. And I genuinely don't think that it would have been as good if every other chapter we were getting his thoughts. Like it just builds to that yearning. Like people are saying bring back yearning, and they have tried in some ways to bring back yearning, but with some of the shift towards these dual POVs, it's harder to communicate that yearning in an effective way when like we have full insight into his brain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, if you're not watching on YouTube, I was nodding vigorously. Because I totally agree, and I don't even have much to add.
Yeah.
I have another thing though about the romance genre in regards to the balcony scene that I want to discuss. And by the balcony scene, we mean the sex scene. Another thing that bugs me about a lot of contemporary romance books is they'll have these quirky, cutesy, silly characters. And then they start having sex, and their personalities do this 180, and they're
100%.
like, what?
I said, 100%.
Yeah.
I know
and they're
what you're
like,
saying.
they're all of a sudden like, just, I don't even know what words to describe. They'll
Dirty
like, this
talk,
like, yeah, like
sexual
this,
beings.
this quirky, like, silly girl all of a sudden turned into this, like, dominatrix. Like, and you know what? I get it. People have layers, you know, people are complex beings. Maybe, you know, maybe that person exists in real life. But I think Emily Henry does a really good job. Her characters' personalities, it's like she knows her characters very well, because in every situation they're in, not just when they're having sex, their personalities match the character, their reactions match, not in like a boring, bland way, but it's like a believable way.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like
when Poppy and Alex were having sex, I was like, yes, that is something that Alex would say in this moment, and that is something Poppy would say in this moment.
Yeah. I 100% know what you're saying. And I've read books where I've been like, wait, huh? Like it feels like once they start hooking up, it's like they become completely different characters. And it's like, you can tell that Alex like adores Poppy, like always. And then like that translates like when they are having sex, like he's just like in awe of her. And like how he sees her and how he treats her and all these things like is consistent with his character.
Yeah.
So I do like that too. That's a really good point because not every book nails that at all.
Not very many do,
No.
to be honest. Well, that's why we started this podcast. If you guys are listening and you're like, you need to read this book, please tell us. Because Emily Henry only has, 6 books out? Yeah, 6, I think. So we need more.
And to be honest, like, I'm not like worried. This makes it sound too strong, but sort of how, like, Issa just finished the Crescent City series. And the relationship dynamic and the characters are quite different than in some of her other books, which is okay, like they're new characters. But I do feel like in each new book that comes out, she's pandering to the audience a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Like she tries something new in Silver Flames and kind of spices things up a little bit more, and people were like, oh, we love this. And so then like each book gets more and more extreme. And some of the Emily Henry's newer books, like Funny Story, Great Big Beautiful Life, that, I mean, like I said, it sounds too extreme. They're still really, really good. And there's still a lot of tension, and there's still really great moments where everything finally comes together, you know, like, but that yearning and that tension kind of is starting to change a little bit. There's not as much slow burn. And maybe it's because of people like complaining about people we meet on vacation. Like some things happen a lot quicker in those two books, her most recent books, than the other books. And like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing right now, but like I do wonder, like as these books continue to come out, like will they maintain what the earlier books are doing, or will they continue to evolve, and will I like the direction of the evolution? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's interesting. Like, I don't want to go. See, now I'm like, I could really go off on a tangent about Great Big Beautiful Life, but like, I see what you're saying about maybe pandering to the audience as far as that romantic relationship in that book went. But she was really experimental with that book
She
on
really
the other
was.
hand. So I wonder if that was just a unique situation. Like she was like, okay, I'm telling two stories in this book, and to balance out the story that my readers aren't really used to, I need to speed up the romance.
That's
you see
true.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, because if we were getting double the story, that would make their romance twice as slow.
Right.
To get to the point. Yeah. No, that is a good point.
Yeah. But, and I mean, not to veer off into Great Big Beautiful Life, but that was such a departure, so I'm really curious what her next book will be.
I know.
Like, where is she going to go from there?
And I guess we won't get one for 2026.
Yeah, we don't get one.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'd like the record to show I actually really love Silver Flames.
Sorry, yeah, I don't think it's bad.
I'm going back to ACOTAR here for a second. I really liked Silver Flames. And you know what? I love a good juicy sex scene sometimes.
But you hated Crescent City.
I love a slow burn even more. And
yeah.
I like a romantic sex scene.
Yes. And I think that's what
I don't want to yuck anyone's yums.
Well, okay, but that's the thing. Like, I feel like this dynamic on social media is gotten to the point where, like, you can't express, like, your interest because, yeah, you don't want to yuck anyone's yum. But, like, by saying this is what I prefer and that's not for me is not to say that, like, I'm going to shame you for enjoying it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just not what I like. And I hope that's clear, like, in all of our podcasts, movies, books, whatever we're discussing. Like, if we're like, oh, I hate that. I don't hate you if you love that.
Especially if you're listening to our podcast. We love you.
Yes. I just have particular taste. And I think that people sometimes get confused when they hear me say like, oh, I love romance. And they're like, oh, so you love spicy books. I'm like, well, I do love books with some spiciness, but I love romance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want people to fall in love. And I like that about all of these books. Like, I can genuinely see why Alex and Poppy would love each other, you know? Yeah. So if you love juicy sex scenes with no romance, I still love you.
And if you can't make it 235 pages for the characters to hook up, that's fine.
We still love you. It's okay. So, after the balcony scene, we don't get a whole lot of them, like, being together, like, dating or anything. It's basically just, like, the remainder of the trip. And it ends because Alex just feels like she was using this as, like, a break from her real life or a way to escape or whatever. So I wanted to hear your thoughts on that, Issa. If, like, because, like, do you like third act breakups? Did you feel like that one was believable or realistic? Did you feel like Alex's thoughts were justified, or did you think, like, it was silly?
Well, that is why I like Emily. That's another reason why I like Emily Henry's books, because her third act breakups, they're some of the least annoying third act breakups I've ever read. Usually the characters communicate pretty quickly. But I do think this one, again, is maybe one of the least realistic because they say goodbye at the airport and they, Alex leaves upset and then he goes back to ignoring Poppy and not talking to her.
Yeah.
And I just feel like in real life, if you just hooked up, they said they love each other. After like 12 years of it building up, like, I think his feelings were totally valid, but
to not communicate at all.
I don't believe that Alex wouldn't communicate with her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if he needed time and space, like, I don't think he would just ignore her.
Yeah, I
But
feel like I
what
would
do you
at
think?
least check in every day and be like, hey, just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. Like, I hope you're getting your growth that you need or whatever,
Yeah.
to check in. And yeah, that's a really good point. I do think, like, what I like about these third act breakups, though, is, like, she does use it as an opportunity, usually, for the characters to work on themselves in some sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Alex's reasons, like, were, I mean, to an extent, like, she could have very clearly communicated, like, no, that's not what I was doing. But she did need the growth and health. So, like, I guess that's okay. But, yeah.
I guess maybe that's why she had it happen. They were like about to miss their flight, and then so Poppy couldn't really explain herself fully.
Yeah. But again, like, to not find some way to have that conversation, like, that is kind of crazy. But I didn't mind it as much as others.
Okay, well, those were all my notes on the book. Do you have any others?
No. Oh, we've got to do our rankings.
Our rankings.
Meet, cute, chemistry, kiss.
Oh, yes. Okay.
I guess the meet cute was, what, them meeting at college?
Freshman orientation.
Or should we count the car ride as their true?
If we're doing the car ride, I would give it a 4 out of 5. If we're doing the college orientation, I would give it a 3 out of 5.
Well, that's still pretty good. I was going to say maybe a 2. I wasn't wowed. But I did like the car. Like, you could kind of feel the awkwardness at first, and then, by the end, they're BFFs.
Yeah. Okay. The kiss, or should we do chemistry first?
Chemistry? Let's do chemistry.
Chemistry, 5 out of 5.
5. They have chemistry.
Yes.
And I think that's why I'm worried about the movie, because, like, they clearly have chemistry in the movie, too. And I'm worried that seeing it on the screen is going to make it even less believable, because you're going to see these people and how hot they are and how much chemistry they have. And it's going to be like, why have you guys not hooked up a long time ago?
Yeah. No, that's
because
a
they
good point.
do have good chemistry.
It's okay. I mean, I just like to see hot people on screen.
We'll eat it up.
With chemistry, yeah.
Yeah. The balcony, I guess that's like their kiss, too. I'm not going to count the Croatia kiss. Like,
no, I'm not going to count it either.
Balcony, 100 million out of 5.
Yeah, seriously. Even though, like, I don't know if this, like, I wouldn't put People We Meet on Vacation as my favorite Emily Henry book, but I think that's my favorite Emily Henry sex scene, the balcony scene. Yeah.
Maybe I need to do a reread with that in mind.
You're like, how is Issa feeling as she reads this?
There's some, guys, you guys just need to, there's some good ones, okay? Like, Book Lovers has some really good non-sex scenes. They're not even having sex, and it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I actually can't really remember. Oh, no, there's some good ones, Issa. Are you sure? Now
Wait,
I'm thinking about Beach Read. I'm thinking about The Shower and Happy Place.
No, I know, no, those are all good ones, but I still think the balcony scene beats them for me.
Well, it's really good because they didn't even kiss before. So it was like, build up, that. And it's like with all those other couples, like, we got little teases and stuff before then. So it wasn't quite as much of a, like, I'm going to spontaneous combust moment. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, obviously this is my most recent reread, so maybe I need to freshen up on the rest of them, but this one really does stand out to me.
It's good. It is good.
Yeah.
Oh, and in the trailer where it shows them in the road, I'm like, well, scene.
Okay, no, I want to say, because right before they do it, they're like fighting, and I think that makes it even better too.
That's true.
Yeah, and And Poppy, like, has this outburst. She's like, because their trip is going horribly wrong, and she's like, I just want things to go back to the way they were. And Julia Whalen, in her manly voice,
Alex voice.
she's like, they're not going to go back to the way they were. And then they're like, then they realize, like, well, we don't want them to go back to the same anyway.
Can we just have a moment of applause for Julia Whalen for making that scene, like, because she does, I mean, we've talked about this in almost every episode too, but like listening on audio, like she does such a good job, like acting that like you feel that tension through her voice and the way she's delivering it. Like you can hear his frustration. It's not like she's just like, well, they're not, you know, like she is Alex in that, and so good.
I really do like Alex. Like he might be one of, well, no, I like Gus and Charlie better, but I do like Alex.
I do too. Okay. Will they pass the test of time?
This is an interesting question for this one in particular, because like you were saying earlier in the episode, some people think they wouldn't last.
Yeah.
But I think they would.
It's interesting because I actually took a screenshot of another review that said it has a happily ever after that is more like unhappily ever after or overly compromised happily ever after. I didn't really see it as like overly compromised or unhappy, but I do think, you know, it is different to spend 1 week a year with somebody and kind of romanticize your life with them and what that could be like. And like another review was talking about like Sarah's perspective and how like Sarah could have said something like, he's yours for 1 week a year, but like he's been mine for the other 51 weeks.
Yeah.
And like to put that into perspective, I was like, well, that's a really good point. Like they are best friends, but also like it's easy to take a trip with somebody and have an incredible, amazing time. And to feel like
that's true.
Like they've basically just been taking honeymoons. So, without the sex. But I would be, it's not like I doubt them. Like I think they could end up together, but there would, I feel like, be a growing period where maybe it would be hard for them because inherently they are very different people. But like they're each other's people, so they'll make it through.
Yeah, you had a way more thought out answer than me, and you definitely raised some very, very valid points. But I just, most of the time I read a book and I'm like, yeah, they're fine. They lived happily ever after. There was something,
like, I don't think about it.
You did trigger my memory though of like something I wanted to say
about them. Their relationship dynamic?
Yeah. Oh, I know what it was.
Okay.
Like, going back to that review that said they were both overly compromising, I don't really agree with that because the whole point is Poppy, throughout the book, is realizing the things that she thought she wanted, she might not want. Like, throughout her 20s, she thought, like, oh, I'll probably never settle down. I want to live in New York City. I want to travel and keep being adventurous. But then she like hits 30 and starts to realize, oh, maybe I actually do want some of the same things that Alex wants. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's
and
kind
I'm
of
not
like
saying
what?
Oh, sorry. Well, I'm not saying like that happens to every woman when they hit 30, but like I feel like that's kind of what was happening to Poppy. She was like, well, maybe the life I envisioned for myself, I don't really want it anymore. I want some version of it, but
yeah, I agree. I think that like her whole motivation, and actually this was something that I highlighted in like how I related to her, but she talks about like how when she's with Alex, she never was that like lonely, unaccepted girl, but that she was always like fully loved by him and like accepted. And I think like, maybe this is going to sound really harsh, but I think anyone that might feel that way about Poppy and her change is maybe lacking some media literacy. Because like Poppy's, I thought it was very clear that like everything she's been doing has been running away. Not because she doesn't want that life, but because she's scared of it.
Right.
Like she is hopping around from place to place and traveling and doing these things. Like, yes, it is fun and it has brought her joy, but also because she's scared of letting anyone fully in, to settling down, to like having people not meet her just on vacation, but her for who she is. And so I kind of read it as like, it's not that she never, ever wanted those things, but that she's been scared, she's felt lonely, she's felt unaccepted. Going back home feels scary for those reasons, but that she feels like she can do it with Alex because he sees her and he loves her. She wants to be loved and accepted.
That was very, very beautifully put.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's another reason why I like Emily Henry's books, because some of her FMCs, they change their mind. But some of them, like, they change their mind about what they want or where they decide to end up. But some of them don't change their mind, but they find people that fit into their lives. Like, I feel like that's Nora.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't leave the big city. She doesn't leave her career. And Charlie fits into that.
Yeah, 100%. She has, like, very diverse characters and life experiences and processes and what that brings them to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. One very, very last thing. This is just a quote that I had to highlight because I was like, this is the proof that we need that Emily Henry is maybe a little bit weirder than we think, but like in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
But she always has like some sort of line in a book that always makes me kind of raise my eyebrow, like, did she just make like a poop joke?
Oh, man.
So there's one it's like at the very beginning. She's talking to her friend Rachel, and Rachel says that cheese board has basically formed a cork in my butthole, and everything's just piling up behind it. And it just makes me laugh, and it just gives me this little glimpse into who Emily Henry is. And I love that she's not, like, afraid to write something kind of weird like that, you know? Like, it just makes me feel like I know her a little bit. Like, yeah, she's probably unfiltered. And it just made me smile in this, like, I have an inside joke with Emily Henry kind of way. Like, I'm like, I know who you are.
Yeah.
You make poop jokes. I just can't believe it because it's like a romantic, super popular book, but then there's just this one line of like, okay.
I actually did like notice, I don't know if I've ever noticed that line before, but this time around, I also noticed that line and was like, oh, what the heck? Did she really just say that? Well, that maybe is not necessarily the best example, but I do think Emily Henry is funny.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why, like, I know we sound like a broken record, but a lot of other contemporary romance books, they are like trying really hard to be funny and it falls flat, but I do find myself genuinely chuckling at Emily Henry's books.
Yeah. You can tell she's like clever and funny and witty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's funny and it doesn't just sound like a line. Like, the dialogue still feels pretty realistic. It's kind of like what we're talking about. Like, sometimes romance books, there's too much banter and it's not even realistic. Like, nobody actually talks to each other that way. But hers are still funny and believable.
Yeah. And I get the vibe from her that, like, she's not trying to be somebody that she's not through her books.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, some people, I think, write books to write this, like, alternative version of themselves or reality. But I think this is coming to my mind. Who?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say it.
Oh. Tell me in secret.
Yeah.
We can't get canceled, guys. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway. Wait, sorry, what did you rate the book overall?
Oh. My first read, I did a 4. My second read... No, wait. I think my first read, I did like a 4.5. This might have been the second book that I read by her. But then as I read the rest of them, I was like, well, actually, maybe just a 4. Like, anything in the 3s sounds too harsh, but all of her books are within the 4 range, 4 to 5 range, you know? Maybe 4.25? What did you?
Well, I think the first time I read it, I gave it a 3. But a 3 to me is like, it was a good book.
Oh, really?
Well, it was like, I liked it fine. Like, it was
3 to me is, it was fine, but I would never read it again. 3 to you
is...
Yeah,
that's kind of what a 3 to me is, too, actually. Okay. That's a good way of putting it. That was the first time I read it. Okay. Because, like I said earlier, Poppy kind of really annoyed me the first time. But the second time I read it, I bumped it up to a 4. Okay. And I stand by that after my third read. It's a 4-star. Which to me is, I really liked it and I'd read it again.
Yeah. Yeah, anything that I give a 4-star, like, I would want to read again and again and again and again, and is, like, solidified on, like, my comfort book shelf. Well, maybe that's too generous. Yeah, no, I feel A 4 is good.
Yeah.
It might not sound that great to other people that are really generous with their 5 stars, but like a 4 for me is pretty strong.
Yeah.
So
Same. Okay, well, that was really fun. I feel like we were really in our flow state discussing Emily Henry.
I feel like we're never going to have to review another one of her books because everyone got brought up.
Yeah, that's
This was
actually a
just
good
an Emily
point.
Henry episode.
Yeah. I'm so excited for the movie. And don't forget, this Friday, you get 2 episodes this week. So on Friday, we will be reviewing When Harry Met Sally, which People We Meet on Vacation was somewhat inspired by. Are there any other announcements we need to go over?
Nope.
Okay.
Watch When Harry Met Sally and get ready for this movie. If you still haven't read the book,
Yes.
like hopefully this has inspired you to do it before the movie comes out. But
And yeah, we know this was a long episode, but I had a lot of fun. So we hope you guys enjoyed. And I think it's fine to put out a long episode for our bonus episode.
yeah, that's true. It's all bonus anyways.
Okay, well, we will see you guys on Friday. Bye.
Bye.